Hey guys, it's Elle. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my February TBR. I am very excited for this TBR. I have lots of different books on this one. I have some fantasy, historical, and some book club things. So I first wanted to go over the books that I'm really excited for to come out this month. And that is, the first one is The Right Move by Liz Tom Ford. So I am currently reading Mile High right now and absolutely loving it. It is a hockey romance with some forbiddenness in it, a plus-size heroine, a curvy heroine, and I'm just loving it. Hate to love. It is so much fun, and I'm actually reading it for a sports romance reading vlog. We're reading a bunch of different sports romances, and I'm really excited about that. But I'm really excited about The Right Move because it is actually about the heroine's brother from the first book, and her best friend. So it's brother's best friend romance, also fake dating, and I think it's going to be one bad trope because she actually has to stay with him in his apartment. So I'm really excited for that. And I think it's coming out like February 7th, maybe. So I'm dying to read this. And then I also have The Red Herring by Kalia Reed. This is the second book to Lady Goldian. And this is Asa and Nat's story, and it's second chance, angsty. It's a lot of plot twists in it. It's historical romance also. I loved Lady Goldian. So I'm very excited for The Red Herring. We've been waiting like about maybe a year and a half for this book to come out, and I am dying to read it, so I'm super excited. And she just did some new covers for this whole series, well, for Lady Goldian and The Red Herring, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Definitely I'll put both of them up because I think they're just so pretty. But I'm so excited for this book because the last book left off on a huge cliffhanger, so I'm very excited for that. Okay, so I think those are, oh, and then the last book I have to share with you is Saint by Sierra Simone. I have this on my list because I read Sinner this past month and absolutely loved it. And Saint is the book club pick for Jess from Peace Love Books, her Patreon like exclusive book club, and she brings like an author on for every month. Like last month was Catherine Cowles, so I'm really excited about Saint. I am really excited about the couple also, and to just chat about it with the author, so I'm very excited for all of those. So now I'm finally going to get into my physical stack of books. The first one is Lover Unleashed by J.R. Ward. So I actually read Lover Mine, which is John Matthews' story, in January, and I absolutely loved it. I feel like come back to the series and more of like the winter months for some reason. I think it's just because it's like my comfort series. I don't want it to end. So this is Payne's story, and she has a lot going on with her, and she is like one of the chosen, well, not chosen, she's like this woman in the other world, and she has just not felt like good in her life for a really long time, like had a purpose in life, and she wants to go in the other world, which is like the world where the Black Decker Brotherhood is. And then something happens in the last book where she gets really injured, and now she's pushed into the human world. And I think it's her romance with Manny, who was from a couple books ago in the Black Decker Brotherhood series, and he is a human, and I love human and vampire romances so much. We haven't gotten one in a while. Like Butch is my favorite in this series, and he's a human and falls in love with a vampire, so I'm dying for this one. I really like Payne's character. She's very hard on herself and very headstrong, and I think it's going to be a lot of action in this one, so I'm very excited for this one. Then I have I can't remember what this is called, Duke Most Wicked by Lenora Bell. So this is her newest release, and I am very excited for this one. I really don't know what this is about, but I have been loving this series. So it says, scarred by dark secret, Brenton Delmar, Duke of Westbury, must concede his misdeeds have finally caught up with him. With 5 younger sisters to support, he must marry for money. Sunny and steadfast, Viola Beaton is no heiress. As music instructor to the Duke's sisters, she's developed a genuine affection for the bright young ladies. I think she has to help him marry somebody or something like that. Oh, okay, so he needs to find a wife for himself and grooms for his sisters, but Viola can't allow him to curtail their freedom. She strikes a bargain. If he allows his sisters to attend the season, Viola will chaperone them and keep them safe from scandal. Only what if Viola and the Duke are the ones most likely to cause a scandal? Ooh, okay. That sounds really good. I really enjoyed all of the books in this series so far, and I love this cover. I think it is so stunning, so I'm very excited to read this and read some really good historicals this month. Then I have Yours Until Dawn, again, by Teresa Medeiros. So I'm gonna try, I'm filming this at like January 23rd. So I'm gonna try to read it maybe in the next couple of days, but we'll see what happens. Like, I don't know if I can get to it because I am doing a reading vlog for some sports romances, but I really want to get to this, and if I don't get it to it, then I'm just going to push it into February. I am determined to read this in February. I've had it on my TBR for 3 months now, and I need to get to it. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I think the heroine has to take care of the hero, and it's really, really good, and I really want to read some Teresa Medeiros and some old school historical romances, so I am very excited to read this one, and hopefully I can get to it by the end of January / beginning of February. Then I have a photo finish by Elsie Silver. This is a second chance romance. This is the second book in the series, but I just want to read the second book. I feel like a lot of people love the second book, and I really want to just read this one first. Like, this one sounds the most intriguing to me. So I know it's second chance, small town romance, and I feel like it's going to be really angsty with them being a second chance. When I moved to the tiny town, the grumpy facade facade, I've created slips when we're forced to live under the same roof. Ooh, okay, so one bed trope. And second chance, and they're both kind of damaged, so I'm really excited to read this. It sounds really, really good, and I want to read some more Elsie Silver before Powerless comes out. I think Powerless does come out this month in February, but I cannot remember the date. So if it does come out this month, I'll put it up on the screen, but I am so excited for Powerless. That is the third book in, I don't remember what the series is called, but I loved Flawless and Heartless so much. They were like my top reads last year in my top reads video, and I'm just so excited for Powerless. I am excited for the angstiness of it, the pining, and I'm dying for that book. So hopefully it's coming out this month or early March. Then I have Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home. I think it's called The Long Way. Yes, The Long Way Home, Magnolia Parks. Okay. Anyways, I read Daisy Hates this past month, and I did not love it as much as I loved the first book, like, of this series. And I really was kind of forcing myself to read it. Like, I didn't really like Daisy's character. She felt very similar to Magnolia, but really hated her. So I'll talk about it more in my wrap-up. But I just didn't love Daisy Hates as much as I loved the first book, and I'm dying for this one because in the ending of Daisy Hates, we got like kind of a precursor to this one. So I'm very excited for this one. I hear it's very, like, super duper angsty, lots of love interest stuff happening with different characters, so I'm really excited to read this. It is massive. It is almost like 530 pages, but I am just really excited to read this and finally see what happens with Magnolia and BJ. Then I have King of the Court by R.S. Gray. So I saw Jess from Peace Love Books and Sam from Sam Reads a Little talking about this book a lot and how they love it so much, and I think they have like maybe a one night together. He's an NBA superstar. It's super angsty. He comes to her little small town, and she, I think, is like trying to like help her grandmother. Like, I think her grandmother, something's going on with her that she has to take care of her full time. And they come from very different worlds and all that stuff, which I really love. I know I said in a couple videos like a while ago that I wasn't gonna read any more R.S. Gray, but I think that was just because I thought all of her books were very rom-com-y, which they are, but I have loved a lot of her books, some of them that I've really loved. So I'm gonna give her another shot and read something that is more current of hers than in, like, you know, the last like 5 years. So I'm really excited to read this and give it a go. I really love this cover. I think it's really, really cute, and I'm excited to see what this book is all about. The next book I have on my TBR is Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. So I can't remember if I put Mixed Signals on my January TBR or not, but I think I should just start from Love Light Farms going forward. Even though this is kind of Christmassy, I'm kind of in the mood for it. And I'm in the mood for small town romances, so I'm really excited for this one. Our heroine, to win this like competition, she basically says, I'm in a relationship, and she owns this like Christmas tree farm, and that's not the case, so she has to fake date with her, I think it's her best friend, or yeah, I think they're best friends. Yes, they are best friends, and they end up falling in love, and I've heard really good things about this whole series, so I'm really excited to read this. Then I have an Optimus Guide to Heartbreak by Jennifer Hartman. So this came out in January, and I'm very excited to read this. This is Grumpy / Sunshine. I think it's forbidden, and I think he's older than her, and she comes back to the small town and really wants to like get to know him again. Away from me, I don't want to hang out with you, and all this stuff. And I know it leaves off on a cliffhanger, and I'm just really excited to read this. I love Jennifer Hartman. And I'm excited to read this duet, and this one's pretty short, so I feel like I could get through it pretty quickly. Next, I have the Frat Boy by Nikki Sloan. So this has kind of blown up, I feel like, on Instagram in the past couple of weeks since it released. I think it released maybe in January, end of December. And this one is a super duper spicy romance that I've heard of, and so it is set in college, and I think they're in like rival like frat / fraternity or sorority, and I think they both go to like this audition for this house thing where they both are doing like adult videos, and they are both auditioning for different roles, and then they end up having to audition together and do these adult videos together, and they end up having so much like attraction for each other and all this stuff, and it sounds amazing. So I'm very excited for this, and it's hate to love, very spicy but had a lot of depth to it. Like, I love the pool boy in this series. That one is so good, so I'm really excited to read this. The next book I have is Belladonna by Adeline Grace. So because I feel like Flower Feb and fantasy is definitely very prevalent in February, so I really want to get to some good fantasy books. This is a YA fantasy romance where I think the heroine, I don't really remember, she makes like a deal with him, or she was like orphaned as a baby and raised by a string of guardians. I don't even remember what this book is about, and I think she has like a relationship with death, and something happens where she has to like go find something or something like that. But I've heard really amazing things about this one, so I'm just excited to try it and give it a go. I really love this cover. It is just so gorgeous, and I am ready to read some really good fantasy romances. The second to last book I'm going to share with you is Heavy Crown by Sophie Lark. So this is the last book in the Brutal Birthright series, and I really want to finish out this series and say I've completed it. Because I love this series, and I really want to finish this one, and so I can read some more of the Underworld series. And I don't even remember what this one is about. I think I saw her being stuffed in a trunk. Yanina, only daughter of the most vicious Bratva boss in Chicago. The Bratva hate my family. They burned my uncle alive. I should have left Yelena to her fate, but she fought like a Valkyrie. Gorgeous, ferocious, and unbreakable. I saved her so I could make her mine. She says she'll never submit to a man. I guess we'll see. I'll push her to the limit and far beyond. So I think in this one, a lot of action happens with all of the characters in this whole series. So I'm excited to see that and get some context on some of like the stuff that happened in the Kingmaker series, which is like the spin-off of the series with like their children. So I'm really excited for this. It sounds like hate to love, forbidden, maybe kidnap romance, I don't know, but it's also mafia, and I love her mafia romances, so I'm really excited to get to this. And the last book I'm going to share with you is The Serpent, and I think it's The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I always forget this title, but this is a fantasy romance. It has vampires. I started reading it and then put it down because I wanted to read something else and wasn't that interested in reading a fantasy romance at the time. So I'm really excited to read this one. I think the heroine is human, and she was raised by like vampires, and now she is supposed to go in this like trial where she's supposed to fight to do something, and she ends up falling in love with another like fellow fighter, and it leads off on a cliffhanger. It's a series, it's a slow burn fantasy romance, so I'm really excited to read this. I don't even know what this, like, the whole synopsis of this story, but I just know I'm like really excited to read it. A legendary tournament held by the goddess of death, and I think there's like a lot of like twists and turns in the series in this book, and I am really excited to read this. And then the last couple things I want to mention is that I am going to be doing a, well, I'm not doing it, somebody else is hosting, a couple of booktubers are hosting a read-along for the ACOTAR series, so I'm super excited for that, and I really do want to reread that series, and I'm very excited to do that. I just keep thinking about A Court of Silver Flames. Like, I love that book so much, and I want to reread it really badly. And I think there's a couple other readathons some booktubers are participating in or hosting. So I'm really excited for that and to just like read a lot more in February. But I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.